With the season only just beginning, the New York Rangers are continuing to make history with one player standing above the rest. And we also have a pretty shocking injury update that could heavily affect the Rangers lineup in their next couple of games. We're going to break all of that down, but before we do, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. About 70% of you who watch our videos are not actually subscribed to the channel, so if you want to do yourself a favor, it's free. Hit that subscribe button and you get to stay up to date with everything New York Rangers, and a great start to the season for the New York Rangers. Obviously only playing 3 games to this point. They have a home and home coming up right here on the second half of a home and home, I should say, with the Detroit Red Wings, and then obviously in Toronto on Saturday. A bit of a road trip here after starting the season, I guess, on the road, but having 2 games at home as well, and MSG was rocking. But obviously a pretty good start for the Rangers. You want to see them take, another step this year in terms of physicality and some other things in the lineup, but a good start. But we're not going to focus on that. We are going to focus on one player specifically making history and his start to the season and what he's bringing to the Rangers lineup. And of course, that is Adam Edstrom. He is this preseason's, or he was named this preseason's award winner. That award, this is from Molly Walker, a great article again, and he's ready for his first New York Rangers opening night. This article is a little bit older, but I wanted to touch on this because he won this award, and this award is awarded to the best rookie of the preseason as voted by the media in New York. So it's a big deal, right? This guy made a big splash this year. We were not expecting him to come in and really take over like he did in his role, specifically in his role. I'm not saying he's a top line player yet or anything like that, but he's playing his role very well, and he's going to have to for the New York Rangers if they're going to find success. And I thought this was pretty interesting from Laviolette. This isn't about scratching somebody, and this is in terms of, who made the lineup and who didn't. And sometimes it's going to be about the opponent. Sometimes it's going to be about the play. And I think that's really going to be the Rangers' MO this year because, depending on who they're playing, they might want to run Rempe and Edstrom on that fourth line. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they want to go a little bit smaller against certain teams, right? So it's going to be a lot about that. But I think Edstrom made his case to make the lineup and be a semi-regular in the NHL. He's been playing fantastic. So obviously on the penalty kill too, and he's a big body, he's a big physical presence. If he's able to continue to play that way, like he said here, I think Edstrom kind of speaks for himself. He's in the same boat as Victor Mancini. Came in and he did everything right. He was big, he was physical, he was fast, he puts up points. He did it in rookie camp and throughout the regular camp. And we also have some comments from the man himself, Adam Edstrom. I've been working really hard this offseason. Coming into preseason as well, Edstrom told the Post from the inside the visiting locker room on Wednesday. It feels good to get recognized for that. I'm very honored and pleased with the way I played. This is just the start. The preseason is obviously over. It's time for the real season now. I'm excited to go out there and play. It'll be fun. And I mean, he has been playing fantastic. I mean, in his role, again, I want to specify that. I wouldn't move him from his role. I wouldn't put him higher in the lineup. Everything he's been doing where he is on the fourth line with Rempe. I mean, him and Rempe on one fourth line is very scary for other teams. It is, because it's hard to outmatch that physically, right? And if they bring it every night when they are together, and not only when they're together, but when they're separated, because we know Rempe probably won't play every game this year. Edstrom probably won't play every game this year. But if they bring it every time that they're in the lineup, this is going to be a hard team to play against. When they play their role properly, the Rangers will be a hard team to beat in the NHL this year with everything they have, obviously, on the back end. The back end looks great, right? Defense. You have the best goaltender in the National Hockey League. I've been saying it on the channel for so long. You have a lot of really good pieces, and obviously he adds something to the penalty kill as well. He has been fantastic so far this year. And obviously not just all of that I just mentioned, mixing it up as well. Like he got in that fight on Saturday against Utah. Obviously you lose that game, but igniting a little bit of that spark, and nice to see, you got to have some of the rough stuff sometimes during the season, right? You got to have, we saw it last year with Rempe. He kind of ignited something in not just the Rangers, but the entire NHL and fans wanting to see it. And, sometimes you need guys like that on your team. A lot of players and a lot of retired players have come out and stated that as well. So, I don't know if he fared that great in this fight, but he did it. He did it, and he's willing to put his body on the line for his teammates. So love to see that from Adam Edstrom. He has been a breath of fresh air on the fourth line at times. Like I said, I think it's going to really depend, like Laviolette said, on their opponent, and I think that's fine. I think that's fine if you're playing, a smaller team that's not as physical. Maybe you want to go a little bit smaller, right? You want to not have both of Rempe and Edstrom on that fourth line. But, when you're playing a more physical team, like let's say the Boston Bruins, right? Then yes, you want to add and assert those guys into the lineup. So I think it's going to depend on the game. And that's all fine because I don't think we were all expecting both of those guys to play every single game. So that's fine. But a great start to the season. Wanted to give Adam Edstrom a little shout out here because I thought that he was, we knew he probably had it in him, but coming into training camp and so far what he's done this regular season, it's been really nice. It's been really nice to see somebody come up and kind of take that opportunity and say, I'm here, I want it. And they have a couple guys right now. And they also have Jimmy Vesey who's coming back from injury. But we'll get to some injury updates in a second. One thing in terms of, making history, the New York Rangers continue to do that. The Rangers are generating, and this was a question coming into this season, the 5-on-5 play. We know that the special teams were pretty good for the New York Rangers last year, and the power play was, something that was tops of the league and maybe not an issue. Maybe want to look into that this year. Maybe there's a couple changes you want to make through the first couple games, but again, it's the first couple games, so we'll see how it goes. But the Rangers are doing a lot better at 5-on-5 this year. The Rangers are generating a lot of 5-on-5 offense while being somewhat of a sound defensive team with the occasional lapse, which is okay. This is very, very new and a very welcome change for New York Rangers fans as well. If you look at the charts, the 5-on-5 expected goals per 60 minutes on October 15th, Rangers are number one. That's pretty good. You can't get better than number one. They are number one by a pretty significant margin as well. So, yes, it's early in the season, like I just mentioned, but these are the little things you have to take and say, all right, you have to continue these things in your game. And this was an issue last year too, right? Maybe relying too much on your special teams at times. And this is a very encouraging sign. You're the best at 5-on-5 expected goals per 60 minutes in the National Hockey League so far this season. And when you look over at the 5-on-5 expected goals against per 60, not the greatest, obviously somewhere in the middle there on that list. So not great. They have to probably work on that. A little bit better defensively sound than last year, maybe. So far this year, again, very small sample size. The season just started, but these are encouraging signs for the New York Rangers at 5-on-5. They are slowly improving defensively, it seems. Like, you have to get a lot better, of course, but offensively, that was an issue. That was a thing people were really complaining about, and it looks like they're getting better. So, encouraging signs for the New York Rangers. And again, their average of 67 goals per game at 5-on-5, ranked as the NHL's best entering play on Wednesday. So obviously it's coming in different ways. Head coach Peter Laviolette said following Wednesday's practice, it's coming off the rush, it's coming off faceoff plays, it's coming off offensive zone plays and the opposition's coverage. So it's coming in different ways, which I think is a good thing. It's coming in contributions from different lines as well. I think that's a real positive. That's another thing too. Every line is getting involved, and we've seen it so far this season, especially in the first game. Every line scored a goal, and yes, it was a 6-0 blowout, but these are encouraging signs nonetheless. So really, really exciting stuff for the New York Rangers. Now, a little bit of an injury update before we wrap up the video. We saw that Chris Kreider is dealing with some sort of illness. He did travel with the team to Detroit. He's a game time decision at this point. I wonder, there is something going around, it seems, around the league at this point in terms of illness or flu. So he is sick and he may not play. And Ryan Lindgren did practice. He took part in a full practice, so he could be on his way back very shortly, which means we could be seeing the end of Victor Mancini as a regular in the lineup right now, but I don't think it's the last we will see of him total. So obviously Lindgren making his way back very soon, and Chris Kreider is sick, may not play tonight. So there is your injury update, and obviously some very good positives for the New York Rangers so far this season. So let me know in the comments what you think of Adam Edstrom's start to the season. What do you think of the Rangers 5-on-5 play? It is so much better so far this season. Again, small sample size. And let me know what you think about the injuries. Would you take Victor Mancini out? He's been playing well. I think he's been playing really well. But again, Ryan Lindgren has that NHL experience, and once he's ready to go, I think he'll be back in the lineup. But let me know what you think. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers.